Hello. Hello. Today, we're going to talk about how to create wealth from nothing. How to create wealth from nothing. That is the theme of today's live video. And of course, if you hear me, oh, I can hear myself. Hold on. I'm assuming you guys can hear me because I can hear myself piping through. But let me know if you hear me as you're coming in. Again, today's topic is how to create wealth from nothing. And so the reason why I wanted to make today's video is that I get a lot of questions from people. Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you, Vibration, Elevation Sounds. Thank you, Carla. Thank you for letting me know you can hear. The reason I wanted to make today's video is that I get a lot of questions from people about, how am I supposed to believe that I can attract money if I don't have a lot of it? Or how am I supposed to be in the vibration of money if there's lack in my environment? Okay, so that's a hard thing for people to understand, which is that, how do you step into the vibration of something when your current reality shows that you don't have it? It's something a lot of people struggle with, especially with money. And so today we're going to talk about, again, how do you create wealth from nothing? And this is a really important concept to understand, which is that all wealth is created from nothing. It's all created from nothing. It all comes from a place of zero into abundance. And today I want to talk to you guys about why that is, because when you understand that money comes from nothing, okay, it literally comes from nothing, you're going to understand that you not having money or not having as much of it as you would like to have is not a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form. So today I'm going to show you why that is. And we're also going to show you, again, how to create wealth literally from nothing. So as you're coming in, please go ahead and like the video, say hello. If you've got questions about abundance, feel free to go ahead and drop them into the chat. I'll be stopping periodically and answering a few of these as I go along. And I do see a super chat here already from, I think it's Ollie AB. It looks like it's your first one. I will come and grab this in just a minute. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to jump into my first point and then we'll talk on this one. And then I'll answer some other questions. Okay. All right. So, again, today's topic is how to create wealth from nothing. Now, the first thing to understand about this, again, is that, wealth and money always come from nothing. You don't need it to have it, you don't need it to get more of it. It's not necessary. And this is because money is imaginary. It's imaginary. Money's not real, it's an idea. This is an important thing to understand about manifesting money. It's not real, it's an idea. And so much so that the bulk of the money that most of you have is not even tangible. Okay, so when we think about money, usually we think about paper money or coins. So those are tangible objects, right? But in reality, most of the money that you have isn't laying around your house in cash, is it? For most of you, it's sitting in a bank balance somewhere, or it's on a credit card. It's a number. It's just a number. It's not a tangible item. And so this is the first thing we want to talk about in helping get your mind around the idea that money's not real and that you can always create money from nothing because it's not even real. Okay. So money is something that we created. It's an idea. It's just an idea. So if you think about back in the cave people times, in the cave people times, they didn't have money, right? That's not something that they had. And as human beings progressed, they came up with this idea to create money. It was literally an idea created from nothing, where we took objects that really had no value whatsoever, like coins and paper, and assigned value to them, but it's just an idea of value. Okay, so for what I mean by this is if you were to take a dollar bill or $100 bill today and take it back in time and hand it to a cave person, it would have zero value whatsoever. Okay, because money is not inherently valuable. It's simply an idea. It's an imaginary idea. And so that's the first thing we really want to wrap our minds around is that it's not It's not something we want to put on a pedestal. It's not something that we inherently need. It's an idea that we created from nothing. Okay, so again, the theme for today's video is that you can always create wealth from nothing. And the first point here is that money in and of itself was created from nothing. It's essentially meaningless other than the meaning that we have assigned to it. Okay, so that's the first point we want to wrap our minds around in order to become really good at attracting money from nothing, because we understand that money really does come from nothing and it's just an idea. Okay, that's our first point. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yeah, I'll get into that in the next point. Okay, let me grab this question real quick before I move on to the next point. So I've got a super chat here. And oh, just real quick. Hello, everybody. Hi, Cambria. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Fairy Dragon. Hi, Rainbow Traveling Yogi. Adam. Guillaume, starting at 50. Hi, hi, Masonica. Carla. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Clint. Hello, Rualuk. Thank you for your kind words. Sybil Bog 85, thank you so much. Yes, say hello as you come in. Samira John, hello. Nice to see all of you. And yes, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. All right, let's take this one real quick. I think it's Ollie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. AB. How to let go of expectations of no income / no win after putting all the hard work in. Same as expecting being a fool every time I speak. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is I've done a lot of work and I want to see my work pay off. How do I let go of the idea so that money can come in? Okay, so this is something that you can apply to all different kinds of manifestations. It's a really good question. The real thing is that you want to divorce the work from the income. So there is this flawed belief that most people have, which is that if I put in work, then I get money. If I put in work, then I get money. Now, this idea is reinforced in many ways. So a lot of you guys have jobs. Okay. So I go to work and I get a check. I go to work and I get a check. I do this work and then I get money. And so the mind has come to believe that the work is somehow what's attracting the money. But in reality, work and income are two different things. Okay. And so this is why in plenty of situations, people can work really hard and not make a lot of money or not make money at all. And by contrast, there's always people out there who are doing very, very little and attracting a lot of money. And that's because these are two different vibrations. And we don't want to attach the two of them together. The easier way to go about it when it comes into doing work, work for the sake of being in flow, work for the sake of having fun, work for the sake of getting inspired and enjoying your day. Now, I know for some of you, your jobs don't really feel that way. And if that's the case, we need to do this even more. Okay. But the purpose of action is for getting into flow state. That's it. Income is simply attraction. Income, it's coming in. You are receiving it. You're not working for it, you're receiving it. So you want to divorce those two things. When you're working, work and flow, and you want to focus on receiving. Okay. This way, when you're done working, you can just go do something else and you can focus on the things that are working out well for you. The big hang up people have is that they think the more I put in, the more I'm going to get. You need to divorce that in your mind. Work for the sake of being in flow. And then when it comes to income, just appreciate the sources that are coming in to allow that to rise. But we don't want to stop working and then start looking for the money. Okay. Because then that's reinforcing the idea that those two things are attached and they are not. Adam K. How do you pull yourself out of a sales slump? Business has not been abundant as it usually is. Any tips or recommendations? Absolutely. Okay, so for sales, if some of you guys are in sales jobs or commission-based jobs, or you have anything where your income fluctuates. So sometimes we have jobs where we make a steady income, right? And so you guys, those of you with the steady income, you just expect that check's going to come, right? But for those of you who are sales-based or commission-based or business-based, income can fluctuate and go up and down. And so, what you want to understand is that that is by nature part of the way that it works. Okay. So, you're in a particular kind of business or industry where that's what's going on. And we want to celebrate that rather than fight against it. So I work, I mean, I run my own business. So my income fluctuates. And so the way that I work with this particular energy is that you want to look at these particular kinds of jobs as a ride or as more fun or as kind of a roller coaster. Okay. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that there's going to be some ups and downs and twists and turns, and that's part of the excitement and that's part of the fun. So when you're doing really good and you're going up, you can get real excited. But when it comes down, we also want to get excited. All right. And so when we get excited with the ups and the downs, we ride the roller coaster rather than fighting against the decline in sales. So when we start fighting against the decline in sales and we start getting upset about it, now we become resistant, and that causes us to stay attached to less sales, and less sales come. So in these particular situations, you want to look at what I like to do is I like to look at it almost as a welcomed break. So, okay, sales are less right now. So now I have time to go have fun, or now I have time to catch up, or now I have time to try something new. Now I have time to do. Look at the down cycle as an advantage rather than a disadvantage. And then you'll get an advantage out of it. Okay. So during the down cycle, they're actually, because this is what I practice, during the down cycles, these are actually the times where I usually have the most innovation, or I come up with new strategies, or something fun happens in my life. And then things start clipping again and the sales go right back up. I hope that that's helpful. All right, guys. Again, today's topic is create wealth from nothing. That is our topic for today. And again, a lot of times I get questions from people that they don't understand, how am I supposed to create money or attract money when I don't have it? It's very hard for me to believe that I can attract money when I don't have money. And so, right there, that's a belief that somehow money is real and that it's a tangible thing and that it's even something that you can have. But in reality, again, money is imaginary. It's an imaginary number. It's so imaginary that most of the money that most of you have isn't even in tangible dollar bills. Okay. It's not like air or water or hair or clothing. It's not an actual object, it's an idea. Okay. And so when you understand this, this is something that even when you don't have dollars in the bank, you can always have an idea. Okay. You can always have the idea of money. And that's how money was created. And that's how you create money in your own life, is understanding that it is an idea. Okay. Now, the next point that we have to understand here about creating money from nothing is that money is unlimited. It's unlimited. And so, this is a flawed perspective about money that most people have before they learn about the law of attraction, is that there's only so much money in the world, and you got to go grab your slice of the pie. But don't grab too big of a slice because that's not fair, right? And so there's this big hang up about money, which is that it's a limited resource. And so because it's a limited resource, it's scarce, it's hard to get. And should you get more than your fair share, you're a bad person. Okay. And so this is a limiting idea that we want to completely destroy in our minds so that we can attract more money, because indeed money is unlimited. Now, why is it unlimited? Because it's an idea. You can't put a limit on an idea. Okay. An idea can be as big as you want to make it or as small as you want to make it. And that's a very important thing to understand about how we create money in our own lives. People who attract a lot of money in their lives, money is a big idea. Okay. It's an idea that gets a lot of playtime. And money who create very little money in their life, people that create very little money in their lives, it's a small idea. Okay. But there's no limit on it. There's no limit on an idea. It's a very important thing to understand. So, one way that you can see this in our reality is that, money is clearly not limited because it's always expanding. We created, again, back in cave people times, money didn't exist. There was none of it. Okay. And then as time has gone on, there's more and more money in the world. There's more money today than there was 10 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 100 years ago. And this is because money isn't limited. It expands and it grows as the idea of it gets bigger. The reason why there's so much money today relative to the past is because money is something that we think about a lot more. Money is something that gets a lot more of our focus. And because of that, we expand money in our reality. So it's not limited. You don't ever have to worry about taking too much. That's never going to be a problem because money is unlimited because it's imaginary and it's not real. It's just an idea. Okay. And so the way that you attract money from nothing is just by dialing into the idea and giving it focus. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's not something that you have to run around and grab out of other people's hands. Okay. That's not how attracting money is done. Money is an idea that when you focus on it, it gets bigger. And yes, if you guys have not yet, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, follow me over here on Instagram. I do lives like this every week. I love talking to you guys and talking all things about the law of attraction. So make sure to go ahead and follow me if you're enjoying today's live. Also, if you are new to my work and you haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and take my very quick 5-minute free manifesting test. So, if you want to know for sure that you really are the creator of your reality, I've designed a very simple and very quick 5-minute test where you can prove it to yourself by putting something out and then watching it come back. So, you can know for certain that you really are the creator of your reality. To take that test, I have the link pinned in the chat on YouTube. And I think Mary is probably going to drop that in the chat as well. And you can also find it, the link in my bio on Instagram, or you can go direct to my link, which is manifestingtest.com. That is manifestingtest.com if you'd like to take that test. All right, let's answer some questions. Over on Instagram, Ferdost369. Hi, Andrea. Can we attract hair color restoration by the law of attraction? Restoration. You mean like have it come back? I mean, you can attract anything that you want through the law of attraction. That's the truth. Um, that's an interesting one though. So like that's an idea. Like, could you have like gray hairs be reversed? That's an interesting idea, right? That's actually something I've thought about. Like this is one that I think is a great one to we always want to think about how could that be done. So when you want to attract something that seems physically impossible, okay? So a lot of times people ask things like how do I attract more height or how do I regrow a limb or how do I, something like that. The one that I like to use right now, if there's something like that that seems impossible, is I like to use AI as an example. So, AI is figuring things out. I'm sure we could manifest this through AI. This could come through that. That's one way to somehow bridge the gap because a lot of times when it comes to these things that seem physical, it's hard for us to see how that would be done because we haven't necessarily seen it done. But things can always be manifested. There are no impossibilities. So I like to use the AI personally. It's one of my favorite things about AI is it has become my excuse for being able to manifest things that seem somewhat physically impossible. So AI can figure that out. I would try thinking about that. In the meantime, you can always dye your hair. And that could always help too. But don't tell yourself it's impossible. Okay. You want to think about how could this happen? How could this be done? That's how we step into the vibration of making those kinds of changes. Oh, my computer seems to have frozen up. Oh, now it's sorry guys. It's like I can't scroll. Okay. Okay. It wants me to read this question, I think. Because it keeps stopping on him over here. Starting at 50 asks, Andrea, I would like to know when setting an intention, do I do it at once and forget about it, or do I need to do that daily? Yeah, you really only need to do it once. And I'm not saying that you can't ask multiple times, you can, But what will often happen with people is they'll get obsessive where they keep asking and asking and asking. And if we ask repeatedly, it's kind of like we don't think it's going to happen. Okay. So we don't want to get into that vibration. We want to start to throw things out and let them work out for us. But there's nothing wrong with asking multiple times. And the other thing I would say too is like, you can ask multiple times if you have the energy of like a stubborn child. So maybe you guys have children and they ask you for stuff, but they just keep asking until you finally give it to that you finally give them the thing that they want. That's one way that you could ask repeatedly. So if you're going to ask repeatedly, I would ask it with the attitude like, if I know if I keep bugging the universe, they're going to give it to me eventually. I know they're going to do it. I'm just going to keep at it. If you feel that way, then you could keep kind of bugging the universe. But don't be asking from a place of I don't think this is going to happen or I feel like I need to do this in order for this to work. That's more of a vibration of I don't think it's going to work out. So, something that's helpful with that question is, starting to ask for more smaller things on a regular basis that you just ask for and let go, and then noticing how those things tend to come back pretty quickly. The more of those things that you can get under your belt, the more you're going to feel comfortable with just asking and knowing that it's coming rather than stepping into that vibration of trying to make it happen, which is resistant in nature. All right. All right, again, guys, today our topic is is it still Mercury retrograde? It is, isn't it? Yeah, okay. It is. All right. Today's topic is create wealth from nothing. Again, a lot of people want to know how to attract money when they don't have money. And it's important to understand that all money is created from nothing. So you're not at a disadvantage at all if you don't have a certain amount of money in the bank. You're not. Okay. Anybody can create money from nothing. Myself personally, a lot of you know my story. I did not come from money. All right. I used to live in a studio apartment next to a pawn shop and I used to sell plasma to pay my bills. All right. So that's where I came from today. I live a much more abundant life. So I understand that it really doesn't have anything to do with did you already have the money or as somebody else was asking about hard work has nothing to do with hard work either. I used to work very, very hard and didn't make any money at all. All right. And this is what we need to understand, though, is that in order to make this jump of creating wealth from nothing, we have to really understand that money really is nothing and that it's just an idea. It's an imaginary number, it's an imaginary idea that we as humans have conjured. It's unlimited because it's an idea. It can be as big or as small as you want to make it. And the next point I want to make here has to do with wealthy people. And so this is a misconception that a lot of people have about wealthy people. And we need to clear this up because as long as people carry this idea, it's very hard to attract money and create wealth from nothing. And so the thing about wealthy people is that a lot of times people believe, again, that money is a limited resource.